What's up, YouTube? Here to talk about the Extreme Rules pay-per-view preview, prediction show, whatever you want to call it. It's in Chicago. We're just going to start off with talk about the preview real quick. We got Kid and Cesaro up against the New Day for the Tag Team Championships. Once again, the Tag Team titles are on the pre-show. Little unfortunate, hoping that, everyone wants them to elevate the Tag Team titles, but then they just stick them on the pre-show again and expect everyone to care about it. But, so I really don't know. It's kind of a toss-up, but I'm going to go with the New Day on this one. Just because I know Vince probably doesn't really understand why people like Kid and Cesaro so much. He talked about Cesaro. He doesn't really understand, or he doesn't think he's connecting with the people or whatever like that. So I'm just going to go with the New Day. Maybe they're going to cheat like they did on Raw. Xavier does something with Natalya or kick somebody and, they get a roll-up win or something like that. Just because I really don't know what they're doing with the tag division right now. They have the Ascension, the Lucha Dragons just debuted, so that can be maybe once the New Day's done with Kid and Cesaro, maybe the Lucha Dragons come up and they defend they go up against the New Day, they get the titles, and then go back and forth, and then maybe by that time the Usos will be back up, ready and healthy. Because I really don't know which one it is, if it's Jimmy or Jay. They kind of don't really do a good job distinguishing who's who, but one of them has a knee injury, I think. And so he's going to be out for like 6 months. And so that's past SummerSlam. So it's going to be a long time. And I don't know which one it is. But now with Naomi turning heel, we'll get to that a little bit later. It's going to be kind of hard to, do anything with the single Uso right now. He's not, because they've just been as a tag team for their entire careers. He's probably just going to go on the house show loops, lose to people and have matches with Bray Wyatt or whatever mid-card act isn't doing anything right now. And so that's the tag team division in a nutshell for you right there. So the next up, we got the actual pay-per-view, and we have Ambrose versus Harper in a Chicago street fight. They've been having some matches back and forth. Luke Harper put Dean Ambrose through a table, and because he went through a table, he wasn't able to be at Raw the next week. But he gets put through a ladder at WrestleMania, which looked 10 times worse than when he got put through the announce table, but he's back the next day, not even selling the injury, fighting John Cena for the U.S. title, but, it is what it is. So hopefully Dean Ambrose, I'm kind of picky with my heart on this one, hoping Dean Ambrose gets that W, because he hasn't really been winning a lot of pay-per-view matches lately. Let's see, he lost to the Hell in a Cell with Seth Rollins, he lost to Bray Wyatt a couple times, he's won a couple with Bray Wyatt, but I think like the pay-per-view matches against them, or the ones that count, like the ambulance match, he lost. So hopefully Dean Ambrose can get that W and start the ball rolling, and he has, maybe gets elevated to that IC title, U.S. title level. But with both the champions being faces right now, I really don't know if they're gonna do a face-face matchup for the IC U.S. title, because Dean Ambrose isn't ready for. I mean, he's not positioned to be. For the WWE Championship right now up against Seth Rollins. It'd be a great little feud right there for a couple weeks until, for one pay-per-view till they stall to whatever they're doing at SummerSlam, maybe Brock Lesnar. But hopefully Dean Ambrose wins, and this probably be a really good match, maybe best show of the night. Hopefully they don't lean too much on the gimmickry and the steel stairs and steps and ladders and tables and chairs and oh my, and they just go out there and wrestle, use some of the weapons when they need to. And that is what it is. So Ambrose with the W on that one. Next up, we have the Divas Championship match. Nikki Bella up against Naomi. And just like in the Kid and Cesaro versus New Day match, it's kind of hard. I mean, this is technically a heel versus heel matchup, so I really don't know who we're supposed to cheer for. Naomi just turned heel on Paige. Paige won the Battle Royal in England to be the number one contender, and then Naomi just turned to just beat the crap out of her. And because Paige got injured, I guess that means Naomi's the new number one contender, because she was the last person to be eliminated. I don't really understand why Naomi is the champ or is the challenger when she is the reason why Paige is gone. Maybe put them on a map, put like Natalya and Cameron and Naomi up in a match, and then that decides the number one contender last week. But whatever. So Nikki Bella, I assume, is probably the face in this match, but Naomi has been cutting some promos lately about why she turned and how she's, she won her matches, but she still hasn't gotten a chance, and she's not going to be nice anymore, and she's going to, be more serious and stuff, when it actually kind of makes sense. So if, you just take out the attack from Paige, Naomi's making a lot of sense, and she's kind of like the face in this match because she wants that title. because that's really, that's the WWE Championship for the women. So, Nikki Bella has been having a long title reign. Maybe Naomi, this is the right time for Naomi. This would be her first. I think this would be her first ever Divas Championship. So that would be a nice little way to get Naomi's career going again. Maybe they want to bring in Charlotte and be Charlotte the one to take down Nikki Bella at a different. I don't think she's going to hold it all the way to SummerSlam, but maybe Charlotte takes her on. So I'm going to go with Nikki Bella to get the W on this one and retain that championship. Maybe by nefarious means with Brie Bella helping, but not out of the question that Naomi could win. So I'm kind of hedging my bets a little bit there. But so next up we have the Ziggler versus Sheamus in the Kiss My Arse match. Don't really know why it has to be Kiss My Arse, because apparently that's PG, and if you say ass, that's not PG, I guess. Don't really know what's the point of this match. Like, I assume whoever loses is gonna have to kiss the other person's ass, and hopefully it's not like a Vince McMahon kiss my ass where he like pulls the pants down, you see his thong and everything, and you have to kiss the ass. Hopefully it's just like they just kiss their ass with their trunks on, and hopefully we don't have to see that much cheekage going on. But this probably be a really good match, maybe best match of the show. Ziggler, Ziggler, he bumps around like a maniac, and Sheamus is a real hard-hitting worker, and that's kind of the bad thing about Sheamus is he's really stiff and snug, and maybe he's a little too snug, and he kind of hurts people a little bit, maybe like he hurt Dana Bryan at the SmackDown, or maybe that's why Dana Bryan has a concussion. He might not be on Extreme Rules, and we'll talk to that maybe next. But I'm going to probably go with Sheamus right now. Sheamus just turned heel with the mohawk and the braided beard, whatever you call that. And I was hoping that when he came back, maybe if he was going to be a heel or if he was going to be a face, he'd be like Conor McGregor, be a big kick-ass Irishman, not take shit from nobody. And that's basically what he's been doing right now when he's been, being a bully, picking on the little guys, Neville, Ziggler, Bryan. So maybe Roman Reigns comes back, or not come back, but maybe Roman Reigns stands up to Sheamus and he's like, maybe pick on someone their own size. And then maybe finally Roman Reigns can do something. That's not Kane and Big Show, because Big Show and Roman Reigns have had matches seemingly like, once a month at least. So I'm going to pick Sheamus to win. Ziggler's going to have to kiss his arse, and we're going to have to see what happens with that. If Ziggler's knocking unconscious, and Sheamus is going to take his head and force it up his ass or whatever. But okay, let's stop talking about that. So let's talk about Roman Reigns and Big Show. Kind of talked about it. There's been a lot of Big Show Roman Reigns matches the last 6 months to a year ever since the Shield's broken up. Because, Big Show's that guy. He's not bad, but he's just been on TV constantly. He's just stale. And he's the big guy, so, get Roman Reigns to pick him up or John Cena to pick him up, show how strong they are. But they just they just have Big Show on constantly on the top. And, Roman Reigns and Big Show have had so many matches on Raw and on SmackDown and on pay-per-views. And they've been doing the house show loops together. And hopefully this is the end of Big Show Roman Reigns forever, maybe for a year if Big Show's still around, but this is a last man standing match. So Roman Reigns is probably going to do something, spectacular. He's probably going to spear Big Show through the barricade or through the stage like Ryback did to John Cena a couple years back. But, Roman Reigns is going to win. Hopefully Roman Reigns moves on to something new, maybe Sheamus, Bray Wyatt. Just a new heel for Roman Reigns to do, because Big Show, Roman Reigns is supposed to be getting better, getting better. He's been doing pretty good on the mic, on the, matches. He still is a little limited, hasn't been doing much, but just punches and stuff like that. But on the mic, he's been doing some good work, and so Big Show, decent heel. He's good to talk back and forth with Roman Reigns, but when it comes into the ring, it's just, what can Roman Reigns really do to the Big Show besides punch him and spear him and maybe do a Samoan drop, but you're not going to really pick up the Big Show unless it's the finish. So hopefully Roman Reigns can get in there with someone a little smaller, but big enough so it's a threat for Roman Reigns, and he can do a lot more work and, show what he can do in the ring. So that's that. Roman Reigns, picking him to get the W. This is my lock of the night. I guarantee Roman Reigns is going to win. Believe that. So next up we have Dana Bryan versus Wade Barrett. A question mark. Don't know if it's going to happen. Dana Bryan apparently has a concussion. That's what I've heard. I don't really know when it exactly happened. I heard that it was during the Sheamus Bryan match at SmackDown a couple weeks back when, Bryan was cut open and Wade Barrett hit him with the bull hammer. And all that stuff. So Bryan's been kind of limited, but he worked on SmackDown last week. He didn't do anything real fancy. I think he did a Hurricane Rana, but I don't think he bumped at all. I think that's what people have been saying. He got pulled from the European tour, and he was supposed to be doing singles matches on the European tour, but then he got switched to doing multi-man tags. So then he just, comes in for the hot tag, does his flying knee, and sends the crowd home happy. So hopefully this isn't a serious concussion. I mean, every concussion is serious. But hopefully it's not like Ziggler after he won the title, and then Jack Swagger kicked him, and so then Ziggler was out for like a couple months, and then he had to relinquish the title. And then Ziggler just wasn't really the same after that. Everyone thought he was going to go up for a big push. He was going to be the man behind Cena, and that just never really happened. And it's all because of that concussion. So concussion's very serious. Daniel Bryan's probably has his fair share of concussions. So after a while, once you start getting concussions, and it's just not good. So hopefully Daniel Bryan, I wish him well. Hopefully he gets better. And if it's not 100%, don't push yourself to try to go to this Extreme Rules match. I'm picking Daniel Bryan if the match happens. If it doesn't happen, hopefully they can build it up to make that a Raw main event. Maybe 2 weeks from now. Just, that's the main event. Have everything revolve, not everything, but, have the main event and the last thing, just a match. There's no shenanigans, just a one-on-one Daniel Bryan, Wade Barrett match. They go 15 minutes. And, Daniel Bryan wins or Wade Barrett wins, and they just, because with these 3-hour Raws, there's just so much stuff you got to do. I don't need to get about a rant about 3-hour Raws. Just, like, Miz and Mizdow, that should have been, like, a huge deal. That could have main evented Raw. But it's just, like, they did it once. They, like, barely even advertised it. They did it again, barely advertised it. Then, like, the big match where it's the Miz brand on the line, and then Summer Rae turns, and it was just like, all right, whatever. And then Randy Orton RKO's The Miz. So, next up we have Cena Rusev in a Russian chain match. This is basically like a strap match. So both of the guys are chained, and you got to incapacitate your opponent and hit all the turnbuckles in succession to get the win for the United States Championship. Cena, fresh off his win, gave Rusev his first loss at WrestleMania. So I'm going to pick John Cena with this one. Not a lock. You never know. Rusev could win, and then they have another match next month, or whatever pay-per-view that is, Payback or something like that, and the Ryback win, or Rusev wins, and Cena does whatever he has to do next. But I'm probably going to go with Cena winning. Don't know if he's going to keep doing this open challenge every week, but it's kind of, a fun thing where mid-carders or lower-card guys can come out, have a, decent 12-minute match with Cena, and then Cena wins, but the other guy's not really hurt because it's John Cena, and maybe that other guy can be moved up and, be on a trail or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what cliche to use right now, but this probably be a good match. Don't really know. I remember the last time I seen a strap match. The last one I really remember is like the Eddie Guerrero John JBL match where everyone was like bleeding like a stuffed pig everywhere. I don't think they're going to do that, but it's probably going to be a physical match, and Cena will probably win with attitude adjustment and touch all the four corners, and there we go. We get the W. So next up, we have the main event. Seth Rollins defending his championship for the first time on television up against Randy Orton in a steel cage match. They could pick whatever stipulation they want, and Seth Rollins picked to ban the RKO, which is kind of lame. I mean, if you're Seth Rollins and you're going to be a heel, why don't you just ban all the moves or make Randy Orton, tie both hands behind his back and blindfold him? And then Randy Orton has all the things in the world, and he just goes with the steel cage match. And apparently he hasn't been watching cage matches the last 15 years. And apparently he hasn't seen the cage matches really don't matter anymore because everyone just runs in, into the cage. So if I was Randy Orton, I would have been like, if anybody interferes or if Seth Rollins gets disqualified, then they're fired and Seth Rollins loses the championship or something like that. Just something outlandish. Like, if somebody interferes, then Seth Rollins automatically loses the title. So that basically guarantees it's going to be a one-on-one straight-up match. But that someone's probably going to interfere. Probably J&J or the Big Show. And Kane is the gatekeeper of the cage, so he's like the referee in the match where he, has the key to the lock and unlocks the door whenever somebody wants to come out or come in. So probably something's going to happen where Kane's going to be like conflicted, be like, he's not going to be saying this, but you can read on his face that he doesn't know what to do because he's been having issues with the authority lately. So maybe he, I don't know, maybe Seth or J&J security comes out and then like he fights them off and is like, and then maybe like Triple H comes out, and then like he gives Kane a talk, and then Kane's like, ooh, and he's like, you kind of see him thinking, he doesn't know what to do, and then either he turns and he like punches Triple H, or then he just opens the door, and then everyone comes in, and Randy Orton gets attacked, and they hold him down, and then Seth Rollins can walk out of that cage with the championship. So hopefully nothing really like that happens. I mean, I'm pretty sure it will happen, but maybe hopefully that's not like the centerpiece of the match. Maybe like the last 5 minutes of the match that stuff happens, but hopefully they just get like a good 10 minutes. They can just do what they do and they wrestle, and then I'm picking Seth Rollins to win. Seth Rollins he doesn't need to win, but hopefully he gets this win, build up some credibility. I would like to see Seth Rollins win clean, just to build up some credibility and just gloat about it the next day on Raw. And don't really so Seth Rollins get the W, maybe probably by nefarious means, because it's the cage, and just the cage doesn't mean what he used to back in the 60s and 70s and 80s. But it is what it is. So Seth Rollins with the W. Don't know if this will be the last match with Randy Orton and Seth Rollins for the title. Maybe another one. So maybe Randy Orton loses, then he has another rematch, and then by that time, feud's over, and they go to something else. Maybe Roman Reigns again. Roman Reigns never got his title rematch. Daniel Bryan never got his title rematch. Brock Lesnar's still floating out there. Don't think he's going to come back to SummerSlam. I mean, the top babyface roster right now isn't that good, with Dana Bryan and John Cena both having the U.S. titles, or the lower titles with the U.S. and IC title. Don't really see them going up against Seth Rollins. So really, it's like Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, that are like the most credible people. I mean, you can still throw in Ziggler, Neville. No, not going to go up there. Kalisto, no. He can debut Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens, or I don't know. I'm just looking up at that NXT poster I got, just naming off names. But so that's it. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you all my new subscribers from WrestleMania. Basically tripled my subscriber count, even though that's not really saying much, because it was like 40 before WrestleMania. Now it's like almost like a 145 or something like that. So thank you guys for subscribing and watching and all that good fun stuff. So tell me what you guys think about Extreme Rules. Who do you think is going to win? What do you agree with me? What do you disagree with me about? What do you think is going to happen after Extreme Rules? Just tell me what you think. And thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links in the description below. And until next time, we'll see you later. Peace out.